Good afternoon, student of class 12 EVS. Today our topic of discussion, some environmental NGOs and their missions. There are so many environmental NGOs all over the world, but in your syllabus only 3 environmental NGOs. First one is the Earth First, second one is WWF for Nature, Worldwide Fund for Nature, and the third one is Greenpeace. The first one is the Earth First. It is an environmental NGO which is founded by Doe Foreman, Mike Rosella, and Hoy Watts in 1979. And their missions number 1 is a missions activist in deep ecology. By the middle of 1980s, the Earth First activists began to identify themselves with the deep ecology environmentalists. Deep ecology means the environmental actions should not be harmful for the nature. Second one, took actions against tree sittings. In 1985, the activists took action against a logging company by the tree sitting. Tree sitting means sitting at the base of a tree for support. It was a fairly successful civil disobedience movement. Number 3, took direct action to prevent construction works like the construction of dam. In 1987, the activists became associated with direct action to prevent any development that was likely to cause damage to the environment like logging or construction, dam, etc. Now the second NGO, WWF for Nature. It is formed in 1961 by Peter Scott, Gay Mountfort, and Sir Julian Huxley. And the missions number 1, the conservation of the biodiversity. Biodiversity is the sum total of total life forms all over the world. This biodiversity, including the plants and animals, they are internally related for the construction and natural system of the earth that should be conserved, otherwise the total earth will be collapsed. Second one, a sustainable use of resources. Mainly the non-renewable resources, the stock are limited. So with the increase of the demand, the amount of resources also reducing. So sustainable use means the use, limited use as per the demand, should not use unnecessary, or better to use the renewable resources which never be finished. The value of the nature should not be ignored, because nature itself is a great value, that is the natural system of this nature, that should not be ignored, and that should not try to destroy it. Next, the mobilize people to support conservation. Try to mobilize to try to increase the awareness of the peoples and give some informations, give some training to help the conservation of ecosystem. Next, the reduction of the pollution and the wasteful consumption. Pollution caused the environmental damage, that for our own activity pollution increasing, that is not good for the nature, that we should careful about the pollution and try to reduce it. And the special attention for the protection of endangered species. Endangered species, the species are going to be endangered, or today or tomorrow it will be finished from the earth. Each and every species all over the earth has a great role for the construction of ecosystem and the maintain the natural system of the earth. Now the third one, or the last one, the Greenpeace. It was founded by Bill Dornelles and Dorothy Stew in 1971 in Canada. This NGO operating in over 40 countries including India, and this is an international coordinating NGO. It has a special characters. This NGO are coordinating all other environmental NGOs all over the world. There are so many environmental NGOs, but Greenpeace is trying to coordinate among all NGOs. And the mission, ocean and ancient forest protection. They try to protect the ocean and ancient because they are going to be damaged due to the pollutions. Stop using the nuclear weapons, because nuclear weapon is a devastating cause for the destruction of environment. That should be stopped. The elimination of the toxic chemicals eliminated every day from the various activities like the industries, like the household activities, and that should be reduced or eliminated. Preventing the release of genetically modified organisms. Genetically modified organisms, the organisms try to mutate themselves and the genetically change their character. It is very deep, especially the disease causing organisms. And the force to solve global problem, and they also took part a great role to force the countries to solve the global problem, especially the global warming. Now the worksheet: name the founders of the Earth First, WWF for Nature, and the Greenpeace. Number 2, state the mission of all 3 NGOs separately, and why WWF for Nature is the most important NGO for environmental protection. Thank you.